Tabor. We're going to be talking through this weekend's Valero Texas Open. Should be fun. I'm excited to get back into some golf. We got the Masters coming up next week, so that should be a good time. I'm sure that's when Sheets is going to win the million finally. Been waiting on it, and it's a fun one. I did a little bit of research here, and I think that we got some plays here that are going to be. I got some plays that are going to be super low owned. I'm very excited about this slate. So. Ready to get into it. Any overall thoughts, Sheets, before we jump on in?
Yeah, we could talk narrative a little bit going into this, and I guess I'll just start with this. Now, again, this is not my thing, and it's I'm not up for narratives too much in golf and in general, but I guess people are going to be talking about this. I haven't literally watched any. I've watched Rick's thing and then nothing else as far as golf goes, and. I mean, you could argue that this is kind of like the prelim for the Masters, right? Yeah. That you could argue maybe that there are some golfers who wouldn't mind, who would rather not like kill themselves this week. They could work on their games a little this week and be, more focused on the Masters next week, as opposed to guys that, really want to win, or really need to win or whatever. So, and we'll get to guys like, I'll just throw them out, like guys like you could argue, I mean, whether you'd be right or wrong, like guys like Rory, Hideki, and to some degree even Spieth, you know what I mean? And going down, maybe like Adam Scott. I was getting, guys that are just really their whole life is focused on winning the Masters right now.
Yeah.
You could argue that they might not, put in their best. I don't know how that's possible really, but you could argue that, and this, a good prime candidate spot for we haven't seen this in a while for like a Hideki. Ooh, my back hurts after not having the great.
It feels like it, right?
Just when they made him a price where it's going to cost people, So that's one thing to think about going into it. But aside from that, I'm just ready to just talk about the golf in general. Does that have hold any weight for you? Did you think about that in your plays?
Absolutely. And for me, one thing that also I'm considering, though, that the problem I'm having is because I could make a case for basically everybody in the 10K range outside of maybe Oberg, who just would be nice to get a win. But one thing I've noticed is that there's been like multiple 5K guys on almost every big field winning tournament. You know what I mean? Or guys down in the 6Ks. You needed to have like literally three spend ups and 3 spend downs in the last tournament. When they're giving us this opportunity for guys in this low price range, when there's really, there's a bigger gap, it's a little bit of a tougher week than it was last week. But still, I think that you gotta try to force these guys in. And if for no other reason, they're really low owned, and the difference in level is just really not all that much there. I mean, look, David Skins is in every Sunday leaderboard that I look at. He's right at the top there. So you got slates like that going on. I don't know. So I just think it's worth considering. Like there's guys who top 5 this event last year who are being who are in the 5Ks who are being projected to be owned like 2%. I would consider those guys. It's also probably worth noting that Corey Connors has won this tournament the last 2 years. And it's the only win. I think it's still the only wins he has on the PGA Tour.
I think that's accurate, actually.
Yeah. So it is Corey Connors, and of course because of it, he's the lowest owned person like anywhere near his price range in anything, which. Don't even get me started. I don't understand the way people think. I don't understand some of the narratives with
Connors. I have Connors projected at 23%.
Oh, really? Okay, so Saberson's got him lower. They've got him at 15. But everybody around him is, got Spieth is like what? He's like 30.
I had him at 21 or whatever. I'll do it.
Okay, interesting. Yeah. Well, look, it could. I'm looking at early projection thing, so we'll see. All right. So let's start off with the top range. Who do you like from the 10K range?
Yeah, this is going to be the sucker bet, I guess, because I would imagine that Aberg is going to be the most popular guy on the slate. He's the cheapest of the top of the range. His metrics are all great. He's certainly the guy he's going to be trying. That's for sure. And I definitely think he's going to be the highest owned. He projects the best. There are some places out there that are really like projecting him to be the highest, even projected guy. Even above Rory. For example, feels like something that would come back to bite me to do. But of these top 4 guys, I do prefer Aberg over the others. And as a matter of fact, I mean, just to go over my builds, I'm not getting. Actually, that's not true. Like the second, I'm getting a full 20% of Colin Morikawa. Actually, the guy I'm not getting much of any of the top guys. Like maybe like 10% of them. But like you said, like if you want to try to, get the 5K guys in, then I can't see any reason not to play, anybody at the top of the range if you like the 5K. So, but as far as the metrics, as far as everything goes, Aberg certainly looks like the most solid. I guess I'll just leave it at that.
Yeah. So I think it's interesting because I have Oberg as the top as well. But the thing that I keep coming back to is like, as much as Rory's big thing is going to be the Masters. Obviously, that's a big one. But Morikawa has not really been himself for a while.
Nope.
I think he wants to go out there and try and win a tournament. Like, if there is a motivational thing, I think he has that motivation. And by the way, Rory has a little bit of that too, but not the week before the Masters. And I just don't see myself being heavily invested in Rory and Hideki the week before the Masters. That's just the way that I feel right now. I like Oberg. I like Morikawa. I think there's plenty of nice builds you can find where you don't need to play any of these guys. But Oberg, then Morikawa, then Rory, then Hideki if I had to pick an order. All right. And then we've got the 9K range, which definitely is going to be where I'm going to be busy. What are you doing here?
Yeah. So 1, 2, I think like 2 of my top owned guys, and especially the big ones, are from this range. And Connors is one of them. I do have maybe a little bit more in the field on Connors. But I also, this is fading my narrative here, but I have, I was going to say Spieth, but Spieth is chalky too, but I definitely have it. And then I'm going to be playing the guys of like pretty much everybody in this range. Like Fleetwood, we always play. I like him. And I'll play him too. And that you could do that if you're not going to play the 10Ks. So I actually like them all. I don't like the top of the range, though. I don't like the Homa and Fitzpatrick. When I say I don't like them, they're just not showing up in builds, really. So that's kind of where I am here.
Yeah, I can buy into Spieth because he's a Texas kid.
Okay, fair enough.
That actually makes me feel a little bit more like I could talk myself into some Spieth. My main plays here are no shocker. Well, I'm going to play Corey Connors. I don't care. I'm just gonna do it. I remember having this come up last year, and everybody saying you can't play him. I understand that he's going to have ownership, but I'm going to play him. I have no issue going right back to my man Tommy Fleetwood. That will be one of my highest owned plays. And I like Benny on a little bit as well. So I actually have those guys along with Spieth as the guys I'll probably use. But I think Fitzpatrick also is it's an interesting one for him. So I think I'm just going to have probably exposure to everybody in this range, to be honest with you. And oddly, my guy Homa is the one I've got the least of as of right now. So I really like this range, and maybe that's what I'll do is play these 3 9K guys or something like that, and use the value that way. Because I really do like the Connors, Fleetwood, but I really think you could pick anybody in this range, and nobody is a bad play. I like Benny on next. Benny on is start Spieth, then Benny on, but Fitz I think has the best chance to actually win the tournament outside of maybe Connors, just because he always wins it. So it's a tough range, but it's like one that I that's where I'll be overexposed, where I'll be underexposed in the 10K range. All right.
In the 8K, I have 3 guys that I have like much more than the others, and we'll talk about them in this way. So the 3 guys I have are Alex Noren, Brian Harman, and Russell Henley. I have like a good amount of all 3 of those, and I'm pretty much under on everybody else except for Kim. Like I'm kind of like with the field on Kim, but I don't have much on Fowler. I don't have much in English. I don't have much on Adam Scott. Alex Noren is one of, and not too much of Horschel. Alex Noren is one of 2 guys that that I noticed looking at a couple of different models kind of stand out as far as like recent form and with respect to tee to green play that maybe not that many people have recognized. Now, I've tried to keep an eye on the ownership here, but unfortunately, it's not exactly a big secret. Okay, so Alex Noren is going to get owned. But there's another guy we'll get to a little later on in the discussion that I don't think is going to get owned. That fits a similar profile that I don't think people
are frozen thing. Is that
are too on. So for me, it is going to be though Noren, Harman, and Henley is the top of this range for me.
Okay, well, this is different. I love Henley. I don't really understand why. Like, I just feel like anytime I don't see 20% next to Henley when he's in the 8Ks, it's just always, I'm just always ready for it. And it, by the way, it probably happens when it comes down to time. So I have Henley #1 in this range. I have Horschel #2, and I have Tom Kim #3. So we're a little different on our other ones, but I certainly don't mind the guys you mentioned. Those are just how I've got them ranked. That's pretty much it for me for this whole range. 7,500 to 79, which is a smaller group than usual.
Yeah, the usual suspects. You know, Bo Hostler continues to rate well. Keith Mitchell continues to rate well. Zaidhu continues to rate well. I mean, all those guys. People are going to play Aaron Ride. This is a range that's just going to fit. My hero, Baccia. I haven't played Eric with a C. Cole, as I'm probably going to be off him, I guess, for a little while. Denny
Good
McCarthy.
for you.
Yeah. Denny McCarthy. Not really. McNeely, not. Oh, we're now 700. So for me, I guess it would be Hostler, Baccia. Something about the Bazooinhoid play just kind of rubs me the wrong way. So for me, I guess my top would be Hostler and Baccia.
So I've got Mitchell, then Hostler, then Rye, then Baccia. That's pretty much my range for me. And I like Mitchell quite a bit. I think, you know, it's interesting. Mitchell's like 55 to 1 to win, where a lot of the guys ahead of him are like, you know, 80 to win, 80 to 1, 75 to 1. So just kind of interesting. But yeah, Mitchell, Hostler would be the ones I probably end up on the most from this range. Never mind Denny McCarthy, just didn't get to myself. All right, 7K to 7,500, which is another smaller range than usual.
Yeah, the same guys I usually play. Lucas Glover, 7,300, decent amount of that. Austin Eckroat, 7,200. And the next guy I have any kind of exposure to is McNeely. So earlier in the week, I was fiddling around with with Højgaard. I just kind of got off him at the end. Van Rooyen, I got off at the end. Putnam got off at the end. Todd, Perez. I mean, like, you can make cases for a lot, you know, all these guys, I guess. But if I had to narrow it down, I would say Glover, Eckroat, and Glover and Eckroat would be my two favorites.
So yeah, I'm okay with the Glover thing. I personally like McNeely by far better than everybody in this range. Next up for me would be Eric Van Rooyen. I actually think Eric EVR, like, we could make another argument about, like, it's just strange with him, like his pricing. I understand the tournaments are different, but like he's been pretty good. And so I guess I'd go McNeely, Van Rooyen, then Højgaard for my guys in this range. And you can see, like, I mean, it's pretty spread out ownership after you get, you know, past the 7Ks for the most part. All right, so under 6K, under 7K, what do you have?
Right, so I got something here. So this is another guy who's just modeling so well in a lot of different places I look. And usually when that happens, we end up with a guy that projects to be like 0% owned. It's like 12, okay?
Right.
So I'm just kind of waiting for that to show up. And fortunately, I've not viewed content, so I haven't seen whether people have been hyping this guy or not. But if things stay the way they are, and I have him projected as clearly my best sub 7K guy, and I have him rated pretty high in general, and I have him sub 5%, I might force in a bunch of them, and that would be the Ryo Hitsuyuni.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I don't, you know, listen, it's just based on the stats. And again, like, if you want to look at the Rick video, as a matter of fact. Like, he does some analysis where he's actually talking about a different golfer, but then he'll like rate like 10 guys based on the metrics. I forget which guy he was talking about. It was somebody else, like in the 9Ks or something like that. But Ryo Hitsuyuni was like right in the range of like some top golfers in this one particular metric, which he thought was kind of important. He didn't really talk about it that much, but let me tell you something. That plus a couple of other things, that's good enough for me. You know, so he's going to be my kind of, you know, stand, I guess, below in the 7K and below range. And that would be the Ryo Hitsuyuni, to the point where, I mean, I'm not really, I mean, Gim is always solid, but you know, at the risk of like missing out on like these other 6Ks, just for emphasis, I'm just going to leave it with the Ryu as my top guy.
Yeah, I understand it. There's a lot of guys I like down here. I didn't have as many guys in the top again. You know, I like to spread out and get exposure down here. So I have the top ones as Kevin Yu. I forgot to mention he's 7K exactly that I have as a priority. Sam Ryder also. He's 7K flat. He finished second, I believe, tied for second last year at this event, and he's been in really good form. Kevin Yu, 6,100. I like that. He's streaky, but I think there's upside there. I like the Ben Griffin, Taylor Montgomery. Taylor Montgomery just feels way too cheap. I don't mind the Hisatsune. I had him written down, but my favorite overall is going to be Andrew Novak. Andrew Novak finished. What did he finish here last year? He finished he finished ninth. Andrew Novak has not ever played as well as he's played this year. And he's got, 3 out of the last, or is it 4 out of the last 6 top 10s? I can't remember exactly off the top of my head, but he's been really, really good. And I think this is a misprice, and I want to take advantage of it. So I will be playing Andrew Novak. I mentioned there was a lot of guys, so those are the ones who stood out the most for me. But I am definitely going to mix in a little Matty Schmidt as well.
So two other guys I'll throw in just for fun. My guy Charlie Hoffman, 6,400. That might be worth something to do. And the other guy, I mean, this is almost like a Bobby play. I mean, he was like almost winning last week, and that would be the Toasty. Toasty is 6,300 and hits the ball really far. He's definitely trying to win. Let's put it that way.
Yep.
And so I'll throw that in there.
Okay, I think that's fair. And Toasty.
What about your other guy here? What about the mental golf guy? Joel Dahman is only 6,100.
I know Joel Dahman and Joseph Bramlett. This is why I'm going to be way overexposed in this whole range.
Wow, this is nuts, huh?
Yeah, because I don't think there's a big gap here. I really don't. So I like the idea of getting to just a lot of this and then mixing it around basically. Under 6K, I don't think you need it. I don't think you need to do the under 6K guys, but I do think that under 7K playing 3 guys like that is definitely, this is the kind of tournament I would probably do that in, and I'm probably going to do it in most of my lineups. But I have a couple guys under 6K. If you don't have, do you have any?
I got a couple.
Okay.
Sam Stevens, Brandon Wu, Chan Kim, and Harry Hall. That's pretty much it.
Okay, I'm fine with all those guys. I will say that, but again, the ones that I like, Sam Stevens the best. Carson Young is my second favorite. Probably would go Dylan Wu if I had to pick another one after that. Don't mind like Vincent Norman. This is an interesting just to see him that cheap. I know he was terrible after the weekend last week. Those would be pretty much it for me. But I mean, I just want to reiterate, there's just plenty of guys you can play down here. Another guy who always plays well in Texas is Ryan Palmer. Like just
absolutely.
So I know he's not quite as young as he used to be, but still. All right, let's play the game sheets.
Okay, so we're going to talk about someone we think is going to win, someone under 10K to make top 5, someone under 9K to make top 10, someone under 8K to make top 20. One guy under 6K and one guy under 7K and one guy under 6K to make the cut. And then we are going to pick a guy over 9K to miss the cut. So as far as who is going to win, all right, I'm going to do it. I'm going to take Corey Connors.
Oh my God, he took it right under me. Right from under me.
I will take Corey Connors because you know what? Nobody can win 3 times in a row.
Right. Okay, I was gonna do something a little bit different. I'm gonna just go way out on a limb, and this is gonna make me look really stupid, but I'm gonna say that Tommy Fleetwood gets his first PGA win.
There it is.
Plenty of other wins, but Fleetwood Connors is definitely my core, so I like the idea of forcing myself to play those guys. All right, under 10K, which we just picked 2 of them. Who do we like under 10K top 5? Yeah.
Okay, I will go then with how can he actually get top 5? I'm trying to think how this is going to happen. I don't think he can do it. You know what? I'll do it just because. I'll say Benny on.
I think that makes sense. That's one of the guys I was thinking about. I thought you were going to say Spieth, so I was
going to also. That's who exactly I was going to say, but then I'm like 30%. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm somewhere stuck between Fitz and Spieth, so I'm going to say Fitz because I didn't mention him the first time around.
Okay.
And then we get down to under 9K to top 10.
Yeah, I will take the easy. Ooh, it's not. You know what? Just I'll let you take the other one. I think you're gonna take.
No, I'm not going to take who you think I am.
All right. Well, I'm gonna take Alex Noren.
You got Noren, okay. The right answer is probably supposed to be Henley, which is why I'm going to say Keith Mitchell, even though he's another tier down.
Very good. Oh, very nice. Okay.
So, all right, then we get to under 8K to top 20.
Under 8K to top 20, we will go with my hero, and that would be Baccia.
All right, I'm going to go Mav McNeely.
Like that.
And then we get under 6K.
Under 7K.
Under 7K?
One under 7K, one under 6K. You can give me both. You can give me one.
Okay.
Whatever.
All right, I'll go Sam Stevens under 6K, and under 7K, I'm going to go Taylor Montgomery.
And only because I forgot to put him in top 20 just for emphasis, I will say Rio to make the top to make the cut. Rio Siana to make the cut, and I will also give my under 6K to make the cut. To make the cut. Oh, I know who I'll give just to make the cut. I will give actually Aaron Badley to make the cut.
Wow, that's one I didn't want to even write down.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's not going to do anything. He's going to get 54th or something.
Yeah, no, but I just was surprised. I just want to throw one more name. I know that we've thrown a lot of names, but I just want to mention that this Max Gracerman is a pretty good golfer, and I feel like he might be sort of, he's just no one's talked about him, and I just think, keep an eye out for him going forward.
Yeah, I had him in Showdown, I think, on Sunday. He did a couple of things.
Yeah, oh, nice. All right, guys, well, should be fun.
Wait. Over 9.
Yeah, my bad. Okay, I'm going to say Hideki.
That's just such a lock.
It just feels like it. But he never does. I mean, he's been on fire this year. Every time we worry about him, he just goes nuts.
Okay,
Do it.
Yeah, I'm doing it. Okay.
Rory?
Yeah. So
okay.
Rory and Hideki will leave after round 1 and go to the strip clubs together. That would be a picture.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll tell you. You know what? I got to be somewhat responsible.
Yeah, I like this.
I guess I'll do Rory.
I think it makes enough sense. I mean, most likely, most of these guys, I think a couple of them might miss the cut, but I don't think it's impossible to. Maybe I don't know.
They put out the salaries for the Masters already, right?
Yeah.
Now I was hoping I can get Rory to miss the cut and maybe get him in the 10th highest price guy through the Masters or something.
No, they just, for whatever reason, it doesn't matter if he doesn't win. They love him.
They love him.
All right. I'm gonna have to do some live research before next week's stuff.
Okay. Just live.
Just so I can keep track with what's happening with the live guys. By the way, don't you think it's kind of interesting? I just was watching a special I watched the 30 for 30 on Greg Norman. It's kind of interesting that a guy who literally choked on every Sunday created a new golf league where you only have to play 3 days.
It's pretty funny.
And I was like, how is it not mentioning this? How did the production just not drop this in at some point?
That's not bad. That's not bad.
All right, guys. Well, good luck this week. And next week at the Masters, I'll load all my content for the golf stuff on the site and in the Discord and all that. And we'll see you guys hopefully.